What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ferrari. As promised, we are going to take you with us on our journey with this car. Now, today we are going to do something very important. We're going to change the tires. Now, we're going to fit this car with Hankook Ventus S1 Evo 3 tires. This should improve drastically our high-speed performance, comfort, and wet weather performance. So, we are at the Sprint in Rotterdam. They are going to fit these tires on here today, and then we'll take it to the Autobahn to test it out. Welcome guys in the Ferrari, and we are nearing the border with Germany. Now, we've driven all the way from Rotterdam, which is in the west of the Netherlands, to the eastern border, which is an hour and a half. That's how small of a country we are. So big thanks to the guys at the Sprint Superstore in Rotterdam for getting these new tires on my car. It is now time to properly test them. Now, I have driven over here, and I have to say that almost immediately after I left, I felt the difference already. These tires are much quieter than the ones I had before. They're smoother, I have less vibrations through the steering wheel, and yeah, altogether you can just feel the improvement. Now, this was one of the parts I was really looking forward to, or eager to find out if it would be an improvement: comfort. And I can safely say that we can check that box. This is definitely a more comfortable option. Now, wet weather, it looks like it might rain, so maybe we can test that out later too, but for now we're going to focus on the Autobahn part, which means that we're going to hit manual and race mode, because this is Germany, and we're going to find out what these tires feel like at higher speeds. So how did this happen? Why are we putting these tires on our car? Well, when we were invited by Hankook to come to Spa for the VW Fun Cup, we got to talking with Benjamin, who is a product specialist at Hankook, and we were nerding out about tires and, you know, about the thread and the compounds, and, you know, we were talking about these high-speed runs, which we do a lot, and what it takes for a tire to hold up, you know, to be able to cope with the forces, these forces that are unleashed on that tire. So then we decided to try and put one of their much more modern tires on our not so modern Ferrari and see what it felt like. So that's what we're doing today. And also, because we were missing a little bit of stability at high speeds, you could just feel that the tires weren't really behaving that well. And I have to say that this is a massive improvement as well. The car just feels so much more stable, and it feels like it is much easier for the car to cope with the speed and the cornering and the braking, and that is a very nice feeling. Now, part of that is down to the structure, the way this tire has been built up by Hankook, the Ventus S1 Evo 3. So a tire has different stages, you know, it has different layers, and the carcass is the inner structure that really provides structural integrity. You've got the thread, of course, the compound, the outer layer, but in between those layers you've got a lot more stuff, and the most important one for a high-speed run like this is the fact that this tire features an aramid hybrid belt. Now, aramid is a fiber, the strongest fiber on earth, and Hankook uses it in this tire to make sure that you don't have, or to minimize deformation at high speeds and at heavy loads. So that goes for acceleration, high speeds, cornering, everything. And this belt that's inside the tire wants to do that because of the centrifugal force of the spinning. So the tire wants to do that, and the belt makes sure that the tire stays in shape. The fact that it stays in shape also means that you maintain the best contact with the road, of course. But man, I am impressed. Honestly, I am very, very impressed with the improvement, because the car just feels completely different. And that's why we hammer on, you know, getting good tires for your car all the time, because it is the one thing that connects the road to your car, or your car to the road. And people often try to cut costs, you know, with tires, and go for a cheap version that they think is fine as well, but honestly it's not, especially not on performance cars, because you want to have the best possible patch of contact to the road for your acceleration, braking, cornering. It makes all the difference. Now, this tire also has a different design on the outside and on the inside. So on the outside we've got a very strong and stiff shoulder, which improves handling, and we've got the interlocking grooves, which is a pattern in the tire which looks really, really cool, but actually has a function as well. It enhances wet weather performance by a lot. So it minimizes hydroplaning, and that is something this car can really, really use, because wet weather performance in this car on the old tires was horrible. Especially when it was cold in the morning and wet. This car is all over the place. It's a handful, honestly. And that's because the tire was really hard, and it just didn't work. Now that is going to be a lot better with this tire. That's one of the reasons why I felt comfortable going for this tire on this car. So this tire, the Hankook Ventus S1 Evo 3, has actually been tested and tested well. So there are a few test results. I'll put them up in screen right now. You can see from some very highly regarded magazines and car journalists and whatever who have tested this tire, and it is a seriously good tire. The Audi RS6 and RS7 are also delivered on this tire. I mean, it's some serious stuff, and I've actually really enjoyed finding out about this stuff, learning about the tire. I mean, that aramid fiber, which you can also find in fireproof clothing for firemen, in armor, body armor, in race car tires. It is some serious stuff that we have in this tire right now, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to try this. Now it looks like the weather is clearing up, so wet weather performance will have to wait. I will definitely let you know how that turns out. I mean, I've already found out so much about this tire about the performance on my car, and man, I'm so freaking happy with it. It just feels so much better. Oh, and what a car, man. I mean, I don't really need a reason to trash it down the Autobahn, but man, this was a good reason to do so. So the biggest difference between this Hankook tire and my old tire is the fact that the old tires could feel a bit harsh, a bit, I don't know, just not very nice, not very supple. And this tire feels much more smooth and grippy, and just it feels completely different. Now I know that I'm comparing an old tire with a new tire, so I do like the fact that you can really feel the difference between an old tire and a new tire, and you can really feel, you know, the progress that has been made, and the improvement on my car at least is very noticeable, and I'm super happy with it. I feel like we've really done some proper consumer advice here, and it feels useful. I don't really know how that feels, but apparently this is how it feels. It feels a bit weird, but this is some serious testing we're doing here. I absolutely loved hammering down the Autobahn with my Ferrari again, and these tires are amazing. So if you want to learn more about the Ventus S1 Evo 3 or a different Hankook tire or Hankook in general, go check them out in the link in the description. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and as promised I will do an update with wet weather performance later in the year when I've had the chance to test that out as well. Alrighty, see you at the next one, guys. Bye.